Hello and good evening for this February 28th, 2024. It's another season of Survivor, the 46th season, in fact. And we just finished watching the first episode titled This Is Where the Legends Are Made. We're just getting started here on this live stream here on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitch, or you might be listening to us in the audio version. It's Super Mater Brothers Podcasting. I'm Dave Mater, joined once again with the great Jaemeel Robinson.
I don't know about great, but
fantastic, even amazing and great. I would even go as much to say, but and no less amazing, but just a different variety. We have Josh Foster with us once again to talk about another season of Survivor. How you doing today, Josh?
Doing well, thanks. Doing well.
Glad to have you guys with us. Of course, my brother Jeff Mater may or may not appear. Who's to say? I think if I was watching this tonight saying, I don't think Jeff's going to like these players too much. Thinking these things, saying them out loud. But spoilers ahoy, if you've not seen this first episode of Survivor 46, get on out of here. But we're reacting to everything that happened here. So that's your little warning.
Pause, go watch the show, and then unpause. Thank you for joining back. I hope you enjoyed the show. Now we will continue. Thanks for coming back, by the way. We missed you in that pause. Guys, okay, so this was a 2-hour premiere. We get our first boot of the season in Jelinski, a fellow David. Jane's draft pick. Jane was not happy with this result. Wait, is she angry about the result or angry about the dude? Because
she's angry about the result because she thinks that they should have voted out Jess. Right. Your draft pick, Jaemeel. So you and Jane can have this debate.
Jane, there was no question that dude need to go. That dude is, and I only have one word to describe that dude, and that is he is so soft. This dude, like, I'm if Jess was in her better mind, she probably could have convinced him that he needs to go. Because the dude is a quitter. The dude is every situation that we've seen in this man, he quits. He's a quitter.
Yeah, Foster, this Jelinski guy who not only loses his vote in this night, gives 2 votes to the other team in this little game he plays, but even before that, he quit the sweat challenge, partly because he thought several hours meant 7 hours, and he's like, "There's no way we can do this in 4 hours in something that's meant for 7 hours." This guy. Have you ever seen quite such an amazing first boot? A guy who did everything wrong in 2 hours.
Well, when you call yourself a legend in the first episode without actually doing anything, that's a big red flag, Dave. It's a big red flag.
Omen. That's a big omen here. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, I couldn't believe the animosity that he had, like the way that he would attempt to try to be would try to push back on somebody, and then when he give it one try and then he'd fold. And there was three or four situations throughout the episode tonight where that happened.
He folded for sure. Okay, so but on the other side, you had Jess.
But hold on, I got one more dig at Jelinski. He reminds me of the character, I forget which character is in Austin Powers, where if you ask the question 3 times, he's Will Ferrell's character. He's obligated to tell you the answer.
Oh, Mustafa,
exactly. That's
I'm very badly burned down here. If you could, I'm not
it's
dead.
Like, don't lie to me, because I'll be very angry if you lie to me. Oh, you got me.
You got me. I can't lie. Yes, this Jelinski, wow. I don't know. He was quite the disaster. Okay, but okay. Yes. The other big thing I had coming into tonight, Jaemeel, was in our preseason draft, cast preview, which we did last week. Foster wasn't here for it, but we looked at the team photos. We looked at the different tribes, and we were like, it's got to be Yanu. Yanu is going to dominate these challenges, and we thought that the Orange tribe, whatever they're called. What are they called?
So it's Yami, Sigma, and
Yami. Something about Yami. The Orange tribe is Yami. Yami, I thought we thought we were going to get decimated. We thought Green would be in the middle, and they kind of are in the middle. We just had it flipped. And because Purple got
did not have a great performance in either challenge tonight, Foster. They were quite disappointing, and you didn't have any weight on that prediction, so you were just kind of seeing them come in here. What happened to this team? Why is Yanni Yanu have such a hard start?
It was interesting because I had some neighbors over and we were watching and we're just like the first my one neighbor, she was like the orange is I'm gonna use colors and stuff, and we're gonna like work through this first episode because it's gonna be anyways. So orange, it's like orange gonna lose, and I'm like, yeah, probably, right? Like that was kind of the consensus. Like that was like what we figured, right? And sure and behold, they're like in the lead, like just over halfway through, like in both challenges tonight. And it was kind of like that, almost like that perfect mesh of individuals in the sense. Like it doesn't seem like it was like I don't really know how to put it, because it didn't have like a standout like cue or I don't know. I gotta look at the tribes again, but like you know what I mean, right? Like
yeah, I know we're getting to know all the tribes and all the people so far.
Size and yeah. Anyways,
but I think like in particular, Hunter, I think on the Orange tribe really stood out tonight as he was really bringing that team further along. Oh yeah, Jeff Bader coming in, hot take here. As Jeff, you are joining us after this 2-hour premiere of Survivor 46, where this is where the legends are made. I don't know if you know that here in Survivor in Fiji, where
was that the title of this episode?
Yes, this is where the legends are made.
Because that's legends of worst player I've ever seen.
He's not talking about Jess. He's not talking about Jess.
Who, me?
You're not talking about Jess.
No, Jelensky, man. Oh my god, that was one of the worst performances all around. In every, like, if you had like rank every category of a Survivor player, he literally did every single thing wrong. I don't think he did one thing right tonight at all.
Was it when he broke the hourglass and changed the course of history?
I honestly couldn't believe when he did that. I was like, you might as well have just like, and then he gets rid of the no vote and he lies and then he tells the truth and then he basically quits like every turn. He quit. Like he was just like, screw it. No, I'm not gonna do this.
This can't be done.
It was honestly pathetic. It was like I felt so sorry for him, but in a way where I was like kind of disgusted.
Yeah, sorry about this Norden update that was on my screen at the
like
time.
what this episode is brought to you by
Norden and Edge Protection. That was on my screen capture at the time. Maybe it will help with the copyright. But he like, why did he have to break the hourglass like this, guys? I didn't understand that.
I don't think he did.
Yeah,
the production staff was just so pissed off. They're like, we're just gonna break it.
Yeah,
I didn't understand. Okay. Do you want to get to this specific thing, or do you want to?
Well, I think it was just what we were just on. I don't know. Where do you want to start? Do you want to?
I have thoughts about that, but we can lead up to it eventually. It's fine.
Well, there's a lot to break down here, but yeah, I think Yelinsky was a big part of tonight's episode, of course. And Jay's like, they're showing him a lot. You think that's a good sign for my draft pick? I'm like, that's usually not a good sign in a premiere if you're showing this guy this much.
My draft pick, Soda, was showed a lot, but I think in a good way.
She was singing, she was dancing, she was
Hunter might kill her in her sleep.
Hunter might kill her, but she won't see it coming, so it will be okay.
Yeah. Was it Kevin is our narrator for the season, or at least for the beginning part of it?
Kevin, who's Kevin?
Kevin's the actor.
Oh, that's Devin.
Okay, Devin.
Oh, Tevin. No,
Tevin.
Tevin.
Tevin. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's none of those. Yeah, it's Tevin.
Yeah. I was like, I think you both got it wrong. Yeah.
We did.
It's the first episide, folks. Let's just do it.
He seems like he's going to be a player. He seems quite good for the show.
He's a personality on this show for sure.
Yeah.
And I think, I think he's might be like a final, 6th player or something like that. We'll see where this is leading, but
okay, let's go.
Okay,
Jane.
so I was telling Jane about her last 2 picks. She had Brandon last season, and then she has Linsky is her first pick in this season. And these are not great picks.
Honestly, for for like I guess it was 2 hours, but like an hour of like just watching a Survivor player play Survivor. I've never seen anyone play worse. That was worse than Brandon Hans. That's how bad that was. It was like that was so bad. Like all around, every category, everything he did everything wrong. And
so when people go, look, I was having heart palpitations with my pick because I'm like, I played it safe this season, I felt, and all of a sudden I pick out the person who has like can't sleep and is ADHD. I'm like, oh, like, how did I pick this person? Anyways, regardless, the fact that she was still sleep deprived, right?
Yeah.
She was still a better player than Jelinski.
Yeah, and she's like, don't put me in the same boat as you. I'm not in your boat.
She was laughing at him during the tribal. Like that's like that's how bad he was. Like she was like, look, I haven't slept in 4 days, but you know what? I have more of a straight head that I don't think she would have quit in that that sweat challenge.
Okay, we keep coming back to this challenge. I don't understand how they approached that challenge, thinking the way that they did. Like,
what do you mean?
There's a hole in the bucket.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. No,
that plug the hole. Right.
At least one.
You plug the hole with your finger, or at the very least, put clothing and and then have it soak. Yeah, and have it soak up the water and squeeze out the water.
Jane was yelling at them, as we were watching that sequence. Yeah, like there's a lot to unpack with this Jelinski thing too. But yeah, like how did you guys just feel about the launch of the season and how this premiere started tonight? And and introducing the tribes, like this real like speech here from Jeff at the top of the show where he's like, you all think you're gonna win, but guess what? Only one of you will.
No. It was worse than that. He was like, guess what? One of you is going to get to the end and you think you're going to win, but you're not because nobody's going to like you because your personality sucks. That's basically what he said. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, that's what watching 45.
Hunter shed a tear when he heard this. He's like, he knows. He knows.
Yeah.
He's like, most of you are gonna get your dreams broken.
Yeah, and it's not anything that's your fault. It's who you are fundamentally as a person with this group of people. It's like,
but it's the only weapon you have. Is where he leaves it at the end, right?
Yeah,
it's so funny.
He's like, every one of you thinks you're the hero, but some of you are just villains, okay? And you're just gonna get knocked off. It's like.
Yeah, most of you will be forgotten. Yeah. Like you'll be footnotes in the season, especially you pre-jury people. No one's even gonna. I won't even remember your name.
But you don't get pizza.
You won't get pizza. You won't get to go to the sanctuary where good things happen, or those kinds of things. Okay, so yeah, we get the introduction. There's some banter here back and forth. I don't know what to. The opening challenge. Let's talk about that. Where they had to crawl under the mud, guys. Take these big, huge pieces through the thing, carry them back, and then they had to build a ramp to get a hook off of a pole, and then get the key so that they could, so the first 2 tribes to finish got supplies, basically. Or no, first tribe to finish gets the supplies. Second 2 tribes would get it like basically a
challenge to get
and that ends up being the sweat versus the
savvy
one, and they both lose. They lose both of them. One they quit, and the other they time out. And so ultimately, this is a good day here and good opening for the Nami tribe, the Orange tribe. Foster, how did you feel about this as an opening challenge for the 3 tribes?
I thought it was okay. I thought it was standard. I don't know if you guys noticed, but Dave, if you can go to the first part of the challenge where they got to go under the rope, look at how high the bar is.
Yeah.
It's a little obviously.
It's a little better than when Bruce, if you guys remember Bruce, not last season, but the same guy 2 seasons ago. Yeah, he smashed his head. This was a little less hazardous, I would say.
So Bruce protected.
I
was like, oh.
This is Bruce proof. Don't worry. You know,
He
It's- you're
changed.
gonna
He
def-
literally changed the game.
Yeah,
But you could have smashed your head on this part of the challenge, which was this next hill thing, a little sand dune you had to kind of crawl. But you have to like move the sand out of the way. You're not gonna be able to get under that without doing some things. So in this opening challenge, I thought it was interesting that Hunter and Venus for the Nami tribe come out, and Hunter grabs his piece, takes it back, goes through the mud again, and then grabs Venus's piece and pulls it down. Venus, like, he just does this on his own.
Wait, no, but Dave, she's a strong woman. Like, so.
Well, I think she was happy to accept the help in this situation. But did this make? I guess my first question about Hunter is, does this make him a target? Is he going a little too out of his way here to sort of do her part of the challenge?
I don't think anyone looks at him and goes, "Oh crap, he's Like if he didn't try hard, you know what I mean? Like everyone's gonna be like, that guy's huge.
Look how far Venus had got with her piece before, and this is where Hunter is going into the mud at this point. He's already taken this piece back.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, it would have taken her a year. That's why he went and did it, because he's like, she's never gonna move that.
Right.
That thing weighs more than her. So
yeah, I thought it was impressive. My draft pick Maria, who I got at number 18. She carried it on her back in this challenge too. So
Mom strength.
Yeah. Do you guys like these challenges where they get covered in mud to start off the season?
I don't really see what the point of it is, honestly.
It's like, oh, Survivor is hard. It makes it difficult when you're being introduced to these people and you're like, who's this person? I got to wait till they clean off so I can get a better look at them.
It looks cold. Like it looks like this was a cold challenge. I don't think
it's not natural mud. It's mud that they made there in like sort of a pit. It wouldn't normally be on that beach, right? So
they probably like drove a truck up and like dumped it there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we got a bunch of cold mud and they mix it with water or whatever, and then that's it. What else is there to say about this challenge other than it was a lot of lifting? The Nami
puzzle making
destroyed in this. The puzzle, the big puzzle here, we saw that the purple tribe really struggled. Jeff, we said that they were going to dominate challenges. They got killed in both challenges today.
It was the opposite. I thought orange would not do well, and
we thought green would be in the middle, and we were kind of right there. But
to be fair, the last challenge they didn't have enough time. I thought they were I thought Jess, not to say that I have a skin in the game in terms of this comment, but right. I thought Jess was doing well in terms of what she was dealing with. The dead weight of Jelinski, who couldn't understand people's direction and was just staring at pieces like a
right. Well, they were so far out of it in this this gecko challenge where they had to carry like the 500-pound gecko beanbag thing across the finish line here.
I have to say this: the challenges, like even like the preview for next week, like they look actually way more unique and different this season. Like somebody was like, let's switch it up and do something different. In the aftermath of Jelinski getting voted out tonight, Jane had a comment of like, look at the challenge next week where they have to do a big puzzle and it like involved like an arch with where you would want a tall guy to hold it up, because her argument was not a short little Asian lady that isn't sleeping.
Which it looks like she's going to be heavily plays into that challenge. That's great.
Right, and we saw what's his name, Banu,
yell at her, Jess.
He's like, Jess, like he was like, Jane's like, see, they should have kept Jelinski. They would have won this challenge.
No, they would not going to win that challenge.
No.
Jelinski would keep his hands up, and then all of a sudden he's like, I'm tired.
I'm quitting.
Yeah,
I'm quitting.
Anymore.
I can't.
They did the right thing. They should not have kept him. That was a joke. Like.
He's 22. He's slightly older than Eamon, and I was just like, ugh, like these Gen Zs.
He thought that helping out the other teams would help them out in the end. Like the logic did not make sense.
But before that, guys, so after the challenge, after Orange goes on to win that challenge quite a bit. I don't know if there's anything else in that opening challenge that we need to really touch on.
How do you grow up in Vegas and not know how to bluff? Like isn't that like one of like the core things of Vegas? Like literally, like wouldn't you have played a hand of poker at some point? Or
nope. Blackjack? No. There's no bluffing in blackjack, is there?
No, but
No.
you know, unless you're the
Remember,
dealer. I guess.
he works at the parent slot machine company.
Yeah, so he's
selling
not allowed
slot
to
machines.
gamble. Maybe there's rules.
He's like, this is the best deal I can give you. $50,000 for this machine. It's like, can you do me better? Nope, this is 50,000. Absolutely. It's like, are you sure? 50,000. Are you absolutely sure? Okay, I'm sorry. You asked me 3 times. Like Mustafa, I can't lie. It's $30,000. Deal, right? He's gonna give in. He's going to give in.
Right.
Not good.
So after that challenge was over, you know, let's talk. We mentioned it already, but the brawn challenge that Q and Jelinski do for the Yanu Purple Tribe with these leaky buckets, you know, and they're not even trying to hold the holes, Jeff. No effort was made.
Really, really, like Q should yeah, he should have used his head a bit more, you know. There, you know,
He's running with it just leaking. So
Yeah.
like, by the time he gets there, there's like a couple drops.
How do you do that the first time and go, okay, I got to change. I got to switch up my strategy here, maybe.
You see how far you have to go from the sea to.
It also seems like it'd be better to go to the other side.
I think you had to go you had to go the specific route.
Oh, okay.
But there's only like, let's say,
the holes are not big. Look, you could easily plug those.
yeah, you have you can at least most of them, right?
And
You probably can't play.
And Q's probably got really big hands, right? Like he's a football player. His hands are probably real big, you know. So,
there's like multiple at the same time. Look, okay, there's ways to they could have just stopped and thought about this challenge for a second and go, what do we have?
Your chest.
Not even that. What do we have that can possibly hold water if we dump into it halfway? We can drag it
a buff
somewhere,
A buff.
or maybe there's a boat that's right behind us in the background that we can drag halfway and then fill that up with water, and then we only have to we can use it as the intermediary. We don't have to go all the way.
Wait, go back to that last slide, Dave. Or they are plugging the holes there.
They're starting to, but like the way they did it initially, maybe they had to show how bad it would be if they didn't.
Put the buffs around the bucket and then have it cover it.
Right. So yeah, that goes on for a while, and then we also get the mental challenge, which was like this this puzzle. I don't know, like where I was thinking, okay, why don't you rule out all the numbers? Like you take because obviously you can see like there's 12 there and there's 6 and a bunch of numbers, and if you eliminate all the numbers, you might be left with some words. But they never got there mentally in this challenge that the Green Siga tribe had to go through. I don't know, like it crossed my mind as a something you could try to do, which was like you have to dig under the lock. I think was the actual like solution to this.
Yeah, dig under lock. Yeah,
dig under lock, but they never got there. What do you guys think of Ben? And who was it? The other guy on the Green Tribe. Ben was the musician. Oh,
and the Harvard kid.
Yeah, Charlie. Charlie the Swiftie.
I'm so upset with that. Oh my god, he's my pick. My number one pick. He's a Swiftie.
You didn't know he was a Swiftie?
I didn't know that.
You wouldn't have picked him if you had known.
What?
Would you have not have picked him if you had known he was a Swiftie?
They definitely would have swayed my vote.
What about him being a Swiftie matters to Survivor?
I don't know.
Poor life choices.
As a football
he knew
fan,
he would be trouble from the start.
It's no. We're talking about football. We're not talking about Swifties.
They're one and the same now, Foster.
Yeah.
You can't talk about football without talking about Swift. Like
No,
I watched the Super Bowl. They were synonymous.
It's not even the Super Bowl. It's not even about football anymore. It's about Taylor Swift. That's what it's all about now.
It's all about you gotta get the beads around the wrist and whatever, and
I don't know what you mean by the beads around the wrist.
We had a bit of that in like the opening of the season where all the cast was like giving their first impressions, and Hunter's like, I'm from a small town, I don't like Taylor Swift, I'm hoping to get in there, and then they go over to Charlie, he's like, I love Swift and Taylor Swift, and I got all her stuff.
Even more reason to like Hunter.
You like
Just saying.
Hunter more than Charlie based on those?
Yes,
Oh
yes.
yeah, I like Hunter. Yeah,
I love
Like,
it. I love Charlie. Oh, I don't want to tell anyone I went to Harvard. Oh, I can't figure out a very simple rudimentary puzzle. You know, like it wasn't that difficult. You're right, Dave. You figured it out pretty quick. Where it's like, yeah, let's
Well,
just.
like it's one possible solution to just rule out the numbers, but
They
were
were-
like,
They were trying to multiply. They were just stupid. Like just like
divide, and
you-
they're like,
you-
but there's 6 numbers. Like Charlie kind of got there, but then he was like, him and Ben just never could get on a roll.
How the hell do you find out all those numbers and then go, okay, what are these other letters for? Like that's like the first thing you would think. I think,
Yeah.
like.
But they didn't think. They thought that those were just.
Don't worry, they'll win the day eventually with vibes. Vibes
Yeah.
will win the day. So you want to know how I felt about Ben?
And maybe the other members of this Sega tribe.
So Ben is a good person to have in the first couple of days of being on the beach, because you don't have a shelter. You might not have, your fire or things. So you need some positive uplifting to keep your spirits high. So Ben is important until you get into the game, and vibes don't win Survivor. Vibes don't,
Mhm.
right? As your primary, tool in the game, and we'll see. But this whole vibe thing, they're gonna vote out vibes because they
They're
want
gonna
money.
vote. They're not. They're going for ruthlessness. Like
Yeah.
times don't really change. This game doesn't really change. Are you saying that?
No.
Or is it gotten more ruthless? You didn't used to be this way. I don't know. We saw. Okay, so Green Tribe, Hunter was not feeling the singing. Let's talk about the Orange Tribe a little bit, because they won the challenge. They were having fun. They were dancing. They were singing. Liz is allergic to things. Liz is the one who has the
Businesses. She's
several businesses, which makes her pretty awesome. She's not afraid to tell you. So
perfect person you want to take as far as you can go, because don't vote out me, vote out Liz. She doesn't need the money.
Right. Well, that was one of the who said that back?
Tevin
Did.
Tevin was like,
or was it Kevin? Yeah, like they were definitely like the upbeat tribe. They won both challenges, but this is, the little sequence we just saw there was only after they won the initial one. They got my girl Venus, they got Hunter, they got Soda, they got the Randon, who was calling Venus a Parvati tonight.
You can't just be pretty and be a Parvati. Like it's not like the way it works. Why isn't she like Elizabeth Hasselbeck? Why isn't she? There's lots of other pretty girls that have played Survivor. Not all of them are Parvati. You know what I mean? Like it's just stupid.
Venus was like, "That's fine. You can call me Parvati."
At the same time, what has she done to get the moniker Parvati? Right? She hasn't done anything ruthless, or like Parvati was still, good at challenges, right? I haven't really seen Venus stand out. So
like, I don't think you can compare them at all, at least not so far. We're in the first couple days of the
which is why this dude like went 0 to 60 for no reason. He should have just
I thought, like, in a way, like, what does he mean by that? Because Parvati was famous for being a flirt. Is he trying to say Venus is a flirt?
He's hoping Venus would flirt with him.
Or he's hoping Venus would flirt with him. Yeah, that's kind of where I sort of was thinking too.
Do you know who she's more like? Remember, there was a girl, I think her name was Michaela. It might have been on the first Brandon Hand season, but like she was a pretty girl, and then like all of the guys were like, "Oh, she's too pretty," like that's more what she's like. She's like she's a Michaela.
We'll see. Like I think it's still too early to fully analyze her, but
he was open with the dude to tell him, "Hey, let's keep an eye out, for stuff." He's like, he went to what? He went immediately to Soda, I think it was. He went to Soda.
Yeah,
and
he's
said,
like, let's get rid of her. Like, she's trouble. She's trying to look for idols. Whatever.
it's like, aren't you looking for idols?
Yeah.
You should be
Well,
looking
like-
for idols too.
Would you guys find it interesting too? But though, when Jeff was giving his little opening speech, but like, you're not as good as you think you are, or whatever he was saying, and it was Venus who was kind of making faces like, "Oh yeah, you think I'm not? I'll show you, Jeff Probst." You know,
That's the Richmond Hill attitude.
that's how they roll in Richmond Hill. They don't mess around. You know, there was a mention of her being Canadian too. Like,
Yeah.
you're Canadian. What about, guys, while we're on the Orange Tribe, what do you guys think of the Andy Griffith alliance that was positioned here between Hunter and Tevin?
Well, me personally, I was super excited because I'm like, yes, please save my Hunter who does not possibly have a social game whatsoever. But the good thing about Hunter is, and what I was hoping for and looking for is someone who's self-aware. He understands where his weakness is and immediately tried to close that gap. So
This was a deep cut with the Andy Griffith, like, you know, like
I know.
for 2024. Like, this is quite the reference to pull in. I know what the Andy Griffith show is, but I'm 40, almost 41.
Yeah.
I'm almost to Randon's age.
do the theme song.
It's like, it's a whistling, right? It's like a. Or is that like the do 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 do?
That's Phenomenon you're thinking of.
That's banana. I don't know. Yeah, it was something like that. Foster, have you ever watched the Andy Griffith show?
That's a no.
No, I never heard of it.
That's
He's never
you never heard of it? Eddie Griffith, you know.
Do you know about Matlock?
Opie.
As
Matlock,
soon as
yeah.
it showed it in black and white, I was just like, okay, it's that
Yeah,
old.
That old, yeah. So I
That
love
old.
Lucy era. It's like
Like Ron Howard was on that show when he was like 5 years old. He was
Yeah.
Opie.
Oh my
It's Opie.
goodness.
You really? Wow, Jeff, have you seen it?
I've seen it. Like
Okay.
I've not sat down and watched an episode probably since I was a kid,
Okay.
you know. But
It's not that
But-
good.
Yeah, it's not that good.
it was
Foster,
it
Matlock.
was-
Have you seen Matlock?
I know of Matlock. Yeah, I haven't seen it.
Okay. Okay.
The guy who was the star of Matlock was Andy Griffith.
yeah.
And he, but this was another show where he was like a sheriff guy,
Yeah. Small town sheriff.
small town
With-
sheriff.
Yeah.
He didn't play a guy. His character wasn't named Andy Griffith at all. It's confusing, and I don't really know what.
Sheriff Andy? Wasn't it's still Andy though, right?
Wait, what did it have to do with Hunter and Tevin though? That's what I can't quite follow.
It's just they were bonding over the fact that they both watched the show.
Okay. They both.
So it
watched-
could have been the Matlock Alliance.
Okay, there you go. Guys, on the
Foster-
Green Tribe. Sorry.
I was just gonna say, Foster, if you do anything with Matlock, just play the theme song. Theme song is what the kids would call a banger.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Okay.
I liked Matlock. I like courtroom drama. It's a but Matlock was a defense attorney, so it was a different take. Guys, on the Green Tribe, it was increasingly looking like kind of like a women versus men sort of divide was forming here. With the ladies looking out for each other and the fellas looking out for each other.
Charlie
guys-
looks like Charlie looking like a Sony animated version of Andrew Garfield with this high
Charlie.
up hair. Yes.
he's young Jason Bateman.
Yo, Jason Bateman. Yes.
He might be a Jason Bateman type. Yeah, like
Teen Wolf 2 it.
he's Teen Wolf 2. He's not Teen Wolf 1, but
Yeah, it's
he's
Teen Wolf
definitely
2.
Teen Wolf 2.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to talk about like how do you think that this men versus women divide on Green is going to hold? Because it seemed like actually Charlie was playing both sides, where he's kind of in league with the women too.
Is he gonna have Charlie's Angels?
They'll be Charlie's Angels. That would
Yeah.
be the alliance.
Yeah.
Another like throwback TV show called thing, which Foster won't know about.
Foster, do you know Charlie's
I
Angels?
knew of Charlie's Angels. I think I knew that from the
movie.
Lucy Liu, Drew
no,
Barrymore movie.
no, I'm trying to think of where they referenced it from. The show I'm thinking of is Robot Chicken, but like, there's just that's not the show that I originally heard it from.
Well, yeah, because they made the remake movies, but you never saw the 70s show.
No, I didn't. No, I haven't seen it. No.
Well,
Okay.
it was a thing. It was a thing. Anyway,
Yes.
so
I think that it's just like it's still early and they're not getting tested yet. So as they say time and time again, an alliance is an alliance until they have to prove with their vote. And right now, Charlie is, saying yes to all the people like he should. He's not overextending himself. He's just gathering information and, he's just vibing right now. So
vibing.
yes. So Charlie's doing the right thing.
Yeah,
Right?
I think Charlie. We'll see how. I think we'll see how Charlie does, but he's got the power of the Swifties with him, so just keep that in mind at all times. Now, guys, can we talk about the journey that came in the episode where each tribe sent a representative on the boat? For Green, it was Maria. For Orange, it was Tevin, and for Purple, of course, it was Jelinski, the ultimate guy who gets voted out here, partly because of what happens on this journey.
No, it was everything, Dave. Every single decision that was made. This is like round 2. It's all started with that sweat challenge, really. I mean,
it started there for sure, but and this made it worse. But which was the worst sin?
The sweat challenge,
or was it
Really?
giving up? No, was it here where he had to lie to Maria, and then he's like, "No, I can't do it. I can't deceive you." Maria.
I mean, they're both just as bad as the other, but the problem is like, all right, the thing is he told his tribe what happened here. That was the real mistake.
Yeah, I couldn't believe he told them.
Yeah, that was like he should not have told them that.
Yeah,
but
I got tricked. He should have lied. I got tricked. I got fooled. I got bamboozled. Anything.
Right.
The reason why I say what he did with the sweat challenge is like you openly showed your tribe that you're willing to quit in front of them. And then he goes and tells them this, which made it even worse because like it basically made them like, this guy is a quitter and he's never ever gonna have our back. So it's an easy vote out. Like it's like I wouldn't trust him. I would be like, perfect, get rid of this guy. Good.
Have they ever done this particular version of this challenge before?
No.
Did you like it?
Yeah, it was good.
Foster, was this a yay for you?
No, I didn't like it. Like it just kind of like, even if what would have happened if someone much better than Jelinski was there, right?
Like Jess?
Well, I don't know. Like someone who would like who was going to be successful? Who could have been successful to lie?
Oh, lots of people could. It's if you're willing to lie, right? Like she was like, I think even kind of going, okay, because like when someone overly goes, no, I have it, you need to try, like you're gonna second guess yourself and you might pick wrong. It's a 50-50 chance, and all you have to do is be confident and go, no.
But how come Maria couldn't tell?
She could tell. She said, I think Jelinski's lying to me, but I'm not, but that's what my gut's saying.
But then she kind of twisted the knife on Jelinski and he folded like so fast, right? So
the slightest bit of pressure, this dude like crumbles.
Yeah, he's like a wet paper suit. Like that's his whole game.
What would have happened if Tevin had got the skull card, right? As the actor, and then he had to actually tell the truth.
It would have been more interesting for sure.
Yeah.
Do you think Tevin would have convinced Maria that he had the vote card and did?
I think there's a good chance that she picked.
I think there's a very good chance because Jelinski was not even doing a very convincing job of lying, and she was almost convinced by him.
But like, do you think Jelinski would do a good job of convincing you that he's telling the truth? You know what I mean? Like,
no, I was like, but what I kind of wish is that we didn't know the answer. When they showed the scene, I kind of wish that we were seeing it from Maria's perspective, and you had to try to guess who was telling the truth.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Because I knew that Jelinski was lying. That it was easy to tell for me that he was lying. But would it have been otherwise? So. I hope they repeat this particular thing. And it was hilarious where he was like, I'm sorry, guys. And then he apologizes to them. And then they both get an extra vote each, right? So Maria, my draft pick, guys, she's got 2 votes now. Tevin, Amanda's draft pick, who was second last. They both come out of this
Looking pretty
tonight,
good. Yeah.
looking pretty good. So what does this tell us? That our drafting skills suck, and we don't know how to predict the season.
No, I disagree, Dave. I think that we are only as good as the information we're provided, right?
Yeah.
And in the brief scenes and the write-ups are so terrible, so you can only do so much with it. And then the brief scenes, they hide so much. Like if they put the cards on the table, we'd be able to draft better, right? We would.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, like if at least maybe there was one interview or something with a player before the season, like not a transcript, but an actual see them, like one confessional going into the season. That would be nice, when they release the cast and say, "Here's a confessional from episode 1 that doesn't make the episode, something you were going to cut anyway, and put it on YouTube." That'd be cool.
Like we get a Carolyn confessional where she's like, "Oh," just hides and does something wacky. You're like, okay, Carolyn.
Yeah. Let's also talk tonight, guys, about the Purple Tribe, more specifically Tiffany, who found the Beware advantage or the Beware clue. She wasn't the only one looking for it. We saw that many members of this Purple Tribe were looking for it, including Banu, who was always like, I want to look for the idol, but I don't want to get caught. And then earlier, on Orange, we saw Randon found Venus looking for that. He's like, I caught her looking for the idol, and then I was going to tell on her.
Can we talk about how Banu is? Dude speaks better than I do.
He just got his U.S. citizenship the day before he left or something.
A year before.
But
the day after he got his citizenship, he applied.
He applied for Survivor because okay. So he talked about eating ants in his real life. That was the kind of the weirdest thing about Banu tonight. Otherwise, I liked Banu. I thought he was fun. He's
a crier though.
Okay. The one thing I didn't like about Banu was later on when they lost the challenge and they're like, "Hey Banu, you got to vote somebody out. How's that feel?" And Banu's like, "I can't. It's so sad. We worked so hard to be here." Like, what did they put them through in this casting process that by the end of it they feel like they've accomplished something just by getting on the show? Like, now you haven't really done anything yet. You're on a show. You got picked.
But you got to think about you learn how many people, they probably tell you how many people apply and how many years people have been applying to be on Survivor. I wouldn't be surprised if during the interview, we still have people who applied from since season 1 that can't get on this show.
But the competition's always been stiff, and I've never seen somebody cry like that when they're saying, "What's happening, guys? You're going to Tribal Council." No, it used to be losers, Tribal Council, got nothing for you.
Wait, do you want me to play the clip again?
Yes.
And as for the losers, they will be taken and executed.
There you go.
Always a classic. So that was the only other thing. But Tiffany finds this Beware. She's like, I'm going for it. Then she finds it with Kenzie.
She finds it with Kenzie.
Right. There was a coded clue where you had to dig for it, but you had to it wouldn't be till you lost the challenge that you would get the next clue. But Purple did lose the challenge, and they didn't show us anything after.
No, they did.
What happened?
Okay, so there's a confessional with Tiff going, "Man, I'm very disappointed we lost this challenge." She's like, "No, I'm not." And you see her running. She gets the information about the clues, so she gets the decode thing. So she starts decoding it. Kenzie's helping her. Kenzie's also warning her that Banu and Q are walking around, right? And eventually she gets the digging. She gets the idol, and she's happy. She's like, "I'm so proud I accomplished it."
She got her vote back.
You got to vote back because she found her. She found the idol.
I missed
The issue that was happening is when we flipped back to what was happening with Banu and Q, right? They're like, I'm voting for Jelinski. I'm not voting for Jess, right? And I think if he wasn't concentrating on the idol and was having those conversations from the get-go, right? I don't think the momentum that Q had in his mind of voting out Jelinski would have taken place, right? He was already dead set on voting this dude out. And a lot of times, especially with someone from Banu who's not really, telling him slow down, right? Q is the type of person I can see. He's just gonna keep talking about it. It's like, I can't believe this dude. And he's just talking himself up into why he does not like Jelinski. Because it seemed that every sequence we saw with Q and Jelinski's name came out, there was like a look of disgust.
I think like when Jelinski threw that hourglass, I don't feel like he had Q's consent to quit the challenge.
No.
Right?
I
Like
think
maybe
Q would have. I think Q would have done that challenge himself.
Yeah. And and I think like Jelinski is right, or no, Q is right to be upset with Jelinski. On some level, like we saw it at Tribal. He was like, and then he gave it away, and then he threw the thing, and then he did this. And Jeff's like, I'm getting two sides of the story here, Jelinski. Interesting. Tell us about that.
It would be like I don't know what position Q played in football, but if he was like a quarterback, let's say, and like Jelinski was his like lineman, and he just went, yeah, I'm not blocking, and he just gets absolutely crushed. You know what I mean? Like that's how he viewed Jelinski.
Was there something else maybe we didn't see in the episode? Because I want to talk just before we talk about the actual vote out, the challenge with this big gecko, right? This 500-pound gecko beanbag they had to carry.
Let's be honest with ourselves. Does that look strategically sound that you're putting Jess and Jelinski at the back?
No.
And you're putting Q at the top?
That makes no sense.
Right. On the green tribe, we had, who is that? Ben was on the top there. And it looks like on the other side, but Hunter was also trying to do the same thing on orange.
But who was at the bottom, though? Who's at the bottom is more important.
Who's that guy? I think it was Randon.
Randon. Okay.
Yeah.
And what was with we mentioned Hunter's team was
you can see here like they had some of the stronger people on the top trying to pull it over. I'm not sure how much Venus was doing really in this particular.
Venus wasn't doing anything,
but Hunter is quite capable in here. He's very stronger than he looks, I think, in a lot of ways, because Orange killed this challenge as they did in the earlier challenge. Green did okay, but like I'd say like Purple was very disappointing. They were really struggling. I don't think that Jess was doing too much here either for Purple, but between Jess and what's his name?
Do we think that Jelinski was doing just like, is Jelinski stronger than Jess? I don't know.
I don't think whether he's stronger or not, it's also about effort, right? And you can imagine that even if right?
It's all about effort.
Right, he might have put no effort in here, but this looked difficult. It was kind of fun to watch.
You just kept seeing Q and Tiff at the front, right? Why didn't they put majority of the people, especially when it was there? The majority of people should have been on the other side using their body weight to pull it down, right? They're not going to be lifting it up and even more. Look, they're all the way in the back there.
Look how much of a head start Orange had on this puzzle. Compared to Purple, and Green was not that much ahead of Purple, really. So like Orange was incredible here, and like how much of this can you attribute to Hunter? I think a lot, but he didn't carry that 500-pound beanbag by himself. But
I think Soda and Randon can do,
and even Tevin. I think Tevin's more physically capable than we might know. So, or have picked up on so far. This puzzle, Orange did good with it, but they had such a head start. They didn't have to really like panic at any point. They had so much time. Green never really came close to that. And Jeff kind of acknowledged that in like the challenge. He's like, well, Orange is won, but there's still third place or whatever.
Second place. Yeah. But I don't think I think Jess did an okay job with the puzzle with what she.
I was feeling like, at least in terms of how they were showing it in the edit tonight, I thought Jess was like, it looked like she was, at least with the limited time Purple had once it got to the puzzle, like if she maybe could have caught up a little bit on green, but it's if they had just gone there slightly sooner,
yeah,
right? But they were so far out of it by then, it didn't really matter, right? As green had it almost completed there, and you can see, like, I think Purple had like maybe 20% maybe done.
Yeah.
So all of that done. Orange wins again. They're doing well. And of course, then we go to Tribal Council with Purple, and that's where Jelinski got voted out. Did you guys? I thought it might be Jess tonight. Did you guys always feel like it was going to be Jelinski, or were you kind of fooled?
Dave,
Or were you
I've
hoping?
been too-
What? Okay, Foster. What result did you want to see tonight when they were in the Tribal Council? Like, who did you want to see get voted out? What was going to be better?
Oh, Jelinski for sure.
Right? Like, if you were a member of the Purple Tribe, would you have wanted to vote out Jelinski?
Absolutely.
Yeah, over Jess, even though she's got her head in the clouds and she barely knows where she is.
100 times out of 100, I would have voted that guy out.
Right.
I don't think I even would have once considered, no, we should vote Jess out. Like, no. Like,
because
no.
at one point Banu has is it Banu, right?
Yeah.
He has a comment. He's like, I don't want to play with somebody where I don't know where their head's at. And I thought he was talking about Jess, but I think he was actually talking about Jelinski, right?
It was a vague enough comment that it could have been taken either way.
It was a bit of a, that was the one comment they could use to trick you.
That was the misdirect. Is that why I was?
It was pretty clear when he asked him in Tribal, hey, what do you think with Jelinski? He's like, let's vote.
Yeah, well, it's time to vote, Jeff. And I was like, no, I think in the old days, Jeff would be like, I say when it's time to vote, Badu. But now, like, modern Jeff. So it's like, interesting. Okay.
That's not good, Jelinski. What do you think about that?
What do you think about it? That doesn't sound good, huh? Yeah. Like, that's the new Jeff. Jeff's just got to always turn it into a question. What if I just redirect this boomerang at you? That's what wisdom is. So yeah, they end up voting out Jelinski, who they're gonna maybe miss. Like Jeff does say it in the Tribal. He's like, that's always the dilemma, isn't it? I think he says it to Kenzie, maybe the dilemma where he's like, do you vote out based on the tribe or based on your individual game? There's always this balance. I don't think it was that. Like, this guy was a liability for sure.
Okay. Jen hasn't slept in because it's been such a short period because
Jess
hasn't slept. Right? So she's gonna eventually like adapt to it. She's in a different place, and because the new survivor is so quick, usually before there used to be 3 days before Tribal. Now there's like a 2 days, day and a half before Tribal. So she only had got one night of like possible sleep that she missed out on.
Right. Well, just being noticed here that Jeff Probst shares his first name with Jess Fat, the original Purple Wiggle from the Land Down Under. I didn't know that. Jeff, did you know that? You're a fan of the Wiggles, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, yes. What about Jeff Fat? Sure.
Oh, he's the original Purple Wiggle.
Yes, he is. Yeah, yes. I've been watching lots of Wiggles lately. Yes.
So as a Jeff, like, because tonight I feel like the Daves were just disgraced by David Jelinski.
No,
Right.
Jelinski chose his path. He wanted to be known as Jelinski. He is not an official Dave.
Well, it's true. I'd say like his overall effect on our stock was minimal, but he's still a Dave. So. There's Jeff Probst, Jeff Fat, and there's Jeff Mader.
Yes. I don't understand where did Jeff Fat come out of? I don't understand why did he
he's
come
in the conversation.
Yeah.
Just Kidder felt it was a very
Kidder 96 wanted us to know. Now I'm kind of fixated on Jeff
it's kind of cool because I've seen his name a lot recently because I've been watching lots of Wiggles. So yeah, and I've seen him back there like just playing the piano and certain song. I'm like, I said, Amanda, that's the original Purple Wiggle right there.
He's like the creepiest of the Wiggles, if you're not familiar.
Is he?
I think so.
He's still an
Yeah.
executive producer, I think, on their shows and stuff. So
Eamon used to watch that as a baby, or he's a toddler, I guess. So, yeah, that was.
Man, he's been wiggling for a long time then.
yeah.
Yeah, they always point. Anyway, Foster, is this Wiggle conversation really exciting you?
Oh yeah, it's really bringing back memories. That's for sure, Dave.
Did
I
you
think
watch the
I
one?
think that I can't remember. I'm trying to remember what was it. The Wiggle? I don't think it was the Wiggles. There was. I feel like there was something else that I was.
There was probably another kids show when you were.
Yeah,
a
there's
kid.
something. I have this like memory stuck, but I just can't figure out like the. Anyways, but yeah, no, it's interesting.
Yeah. Okay. How do you feel about this premiere and how this season has kicked off? Let's go to you, Foster.
I like the energy. I feel like the cast is pretty good. Like I feel like there's a lot of different personalities, and I feel like it's going to. I don't know. I just got like when you get that you have that first episode, you got kind of a good sense of like in terms of the social like game, if you not social game, the I guess social dynamic, and it feels like it's going to be a good one this year.
Yeah. Okay. Jeff, are you optimistic about this season?
I think that the competitions look like they actually gave a crap this year. So I think those are going to be cool. I think like half the cast so far is intriguing. The other half seems kind of boring. Like certain players kind of seem boring to me.
Who's like a standout cast member for you right now based on this premiere?
Tevin, Soda.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of the Banu.
Yes.
Uh,
Who seems like a date pick?
What did you think of Kenzie?
yeah, it's okay.
Not so much.
Yeah, she was kind of one of the boring ones. There's a few of them that just kind of seem boring, like but we'll
Yeah.
see. It's first episode, so it's hard,
Jaemeel, are you feeling like okay, 46? This is looking like pretty intriguing.
I'm looking at it from a different perspective. I need a good showing. I've not done very well in terms of drafting.
You
in
want
the last couple
some
of years.
results. You want to
Yes.
win here.
And immediately I'm put in danger where I could have lost one half of my team. So
Right?
I feel like I just need to get past this next episode and I'll feel a little bit more secure.
Yeah, well, we'll see how Jess does next episode. Like, what happens if Yanu loses this next challenge and then they lose 2 people and they're down to 4? How's that going to shape the season?
Well, didn't Banu and Jess do the puzzle in the first challenge?
It was Jelinski and Jess. Or no, in the very first challenge,
It
maybe
was Banu and Jess, wasn't it?
maybe it was kind of all of them doing it, like because like they never like it was a big challenge where you had to build a little platform to get the key down, right? The first thing. So I wouldn't say anybody. I couldn't really tell. I guess is also who was doing what in that.
Okay.
But yeah, like I think like that could be something to see. I think that there's a high chance of that. What did you think of Kenzie tonight, Jaemeel?
Kenzie, I felt pre-draft. I thought that she was going to be an interesting character. She seems to have a lot of people orbiting around her.
Yeah, she
and
seems
organizing
social
things.
butterfly on.
But I think that we already have seen that she can't necessarily control her troops. Hugh has a mind of his own and wants to do what he wants to do. And Banu has a big heart, which I think could rub her the wrong way. And was it Tiffany? She's a gamer, so I can I don't know if Kenzie's up to the challenge at all.
I think that it's gonna. I think Kenzie's the gamer. Is how we're gonna see this play out, but we'll see.
Okay.
We also thought that Banu was going to be the best tribe ever this season, and it looks like they might get decimated by the way that this is going so far. What else, guys? Survivor 46. Oh, did you guys hear about like this whole the Q is accusing certain people of having a pregame alliance?
Oh no.
There was some news about the flowers in their hair. You saw two girls with flowers in their hair. I think one was
the giveaway.
One was your draft pick, Jeff, Gem,
Mm.
and the other was my draft pick, Venus. And Q saw that they had flowers in their hair and figures he was theorizing that they knew each other going into the game. There's a whole article about this. Like you could read it. It was buzzing around on Reddit. Flower.
So wait, he came off the show and spoke to reporters about a possible pregame alliance.
Right. Who knows? Okay, so the game of Survivor starts when Bulba players hit the island. They see each other in final castings, and they have to spend multiple days around each other in Fiji before the game actually starts. And that's when first impressions are formed. However, can those first impressions be trusted, especially when the players are not even allowed at that point to talk to each other? Because the game before the game is already in full swing, who knows what is real when most people are trying to be on their best behavior? Charlie Davis said, no one's nicer than a group of Survivor players that know that they're about to play a game with each other. Oh, let me pull out this chair for you. Oh, I'll push this chair back in. Do you need a pen? Do you need my firstborn son? He's yours. Have him. Everyone is so nice to each other. Right.
That's what Charlie said.
So how is a certified Swiftie like Charlie supposed to figure out whom and whom does not want to play out on the island? I'm just on the lookout for people. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to get to the point here where it got to Q.
I sure hope that the Swiftie thing is not brought up ever again on this season. But
okay,
they know Foster's watching, so it's going to be brought up.
Here it is. Kubert believed he had uncovered a diabolical pre-game flower alliance. What I've noticed so far, the girls, they're clique tight, Q told us. Some of them don't even make eye contact with me. And 2 days ago, I woke up and I saw two flowers in girls' hair. And I told myself, if a third wants to have a flower today, I'm in trouble. Well, guess what? I saw a flower and it was a different girl. So they're in cahoots. They're communicating somewhere right now. And I'm excited to unravel that mystery.
That's a man's man. That's a man that's hung around men his whole life. And it's just doesn't really, doesn't really get it.
The third woman with a flower in her hair, Kenzie.
How dare. You're
on a tropical island. There's flowers around. The girls are going to put, what's so stupid? Like,
then Badu puts a flower in his headband. And then he's like, oh, we lost another one.
Yeah, and there's all these so you're out there, but you're not allowed to talk to each other. That's always and how many days are you out there together, looking at each other, knowing you're going to play the Survivor, but not even knowing what tribe you're on necessarily?
Probably I think the alternates are also there too,
right?
So
probably there like a week, before you even
at
least it might be 10 days.
A week where you can talk to the producers, but you can't talk to the other contestants.
Yeah, there's so much prep and stuff they have to do. There's interviews with Jeff. There's pictures they have to take. There's so much crap they have to do before
they probably do the interviews then and there.
For their medical checkups, all those things.
Yeah, medical. There's so many different the emergency contacts and all that kind of stuff have to be.
So
done.
Is Liz gonna find food that she can actually eat?
Okay, she's allergic to everything. She was allergic to chicken and
nuts, coconut,
just life. It sounded like mostly.
She's gonna I think she's gonna get pulled from the game. That's what I think is gonna happen.
I'm like, she's allergic to every. I've never heard.
She's not sleeping.
Well,
that's be allergic to chicken.
That's Liz. Jess is the one who can't sleep.
Oh, I thought you were talking about Jess.
But so she says she usually tires herself out, and that's how she sleeps.
Oh, okay. Liz is the one that's like, yeah, I got 4 companies, no big deal, right?
No, she said it was a big deal.
Yeah, I know.
I'm kind of a big deal. Just
I love anybody that ever says I'm kind of awesome. They're usually not.
Typically. Yeah, people who are awesome don't tell you they're awesome.
It's
They
like
can
people who are rich don't go around telling other people they're rich. They're just rich, you know.
Well, there's rich and wealthy, right?
Right.
If they're rich, they'll say, "Yeah, I'm rich." Wealthy people, they don't care.
Yeah.
Guys, the next episode is called Scorpio Energy.
Isn't that Tevin is a Scorpio, right?
How do we know that?
He mentioned. I thought you would have been on top of this when they were describing each other in the water. I think Tevin mentioned that he was a Scorpio. I think.
Oh, well, Jeff's married to a Scorpio. He can tell you about the Scorpio energy.
Which Jeff? Are we talking about the Jeff here or the Jeff from Australia? I'm sorry.
Jeff Fat is he might be he the Wiggle, the purple Wiggle?
Yeah, I don't know. I'm sorry.
He might be married to a Scorpio. I don't know.
Maybe.
But anyway, we'll find out who has the Scorpio energy in the next episode. I'm excited to find it. There was also a mention in tonight's episode too by Ben, who said he was an Aries.
I stand corrected. It was Ben talking about being an Aries. No one mentioned that they were Scorpio. I apologize, Dave.
Totally different, Jaemeel.
It was astrology. It's
both,
all the same.
Both water signs.
No, Aries is a fire sign and Scorpio is a water sign.
Foster, how do you feel about astrology?
No comment as usual.
Smart man.
And with that, guys, we'll leave you for tonight. I have no quotes or things from this particular episode, so we'll leave you on a Jeff Probst thing of some kind, something at random. How about that? Have a good night, and we'll see you next time for the Scorpio Energy episode.
Yes, next week.
Yeah.
This is a challenge where you're going to reach a breaking point. Fatigue takes over your entire body. Just slowly, it starts to inch its way down, and it gets so far that you can't recover.
That's right. I'll see you next time, everyone.